little sore, but
Hmm. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dave and David are here, and we're going to look at a Raspberry Pi simulator. And so this is the first time I have tried this. We'll see just how it works. Now, David, have you read anything about the Raspberry Pi, or have you any experience with it?
I'm afraid not. No. My primary sphere of experience is in web development more than app development.
Mm.
I do have a little bit of understanding of, certain programming languages, but mostly in the area of like Microsoft's Visual Basic and Visual C++.
Uh,
Beyond that, it's I know all code is at least semantically similar, I
mhm.
guess. But I really don't have any direct experience with any programming languages beyond that. My main
Yeah.
experiences with it PHP, HTML and such.
Yeah, right. Well, my experience there, and anybody that has mastered C++ has shown they're able to master just about anything. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi is a little single board computer based on the ARM RISC chips, which are the same RISC chips that are in, or the same processors that are in iPhones and Android phones,
Okay.
uh, various other embedded devices. So, uh, so this thing is, uh, I don't know, it's a tiny little thing, and that's the website is at raspberrypi.org. And the first thing I did was download a um, a package, a zip file which contains a disk image, just with the entire operating system. Oh, I've started downloading it again. Stop. And this
That
touchpad on the
happens.
computer is very sensitive. Yeah. Um, okay, so that yeah, that's I downloaded it twice. The first time it came down, I couldn't unzip it, so wasted an hour downloading it. Um, uh, the first time, got it down the second time, and it's really worth checking the file hash, the file checksum.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I generally try to do that if somebody supplies at least an MD5, if not an SHA1.
yeah, so SSJ1 runs really quickly on modern computers. So the command it's has different names on Macs and PCs, but on a Linux machine it's called SHA1 sum, and you just run that with the name of the file, and then the signature matches up. So that's great. And the other thing I did was I installed this program Quemu, and I'm going to make my um, it's a bit bigger here so that we can see a bit more. And why has everything disappeared off the bottom? Yeah, yeah. This program Quemu, which is uh, it's basically a machine that allows you to, a program that allows you to simulate lots of different microprocessors. So
Okay.
obviously the processor on a laptop is usually quite different from the ARM processor that phones and the Raspberry Pi use. And the next thing I did was found this website. Well, Google found this website for me, which has a little tutorial about about emulating the Raspberry Pi. So they've done the hard work. Hopefully that we can just copy it. And I have gone and downloaded this file that they've described as the kernel. So I'm downloading this one again now. I'm going to switch off the touchpad because it's driving me mad. Right. Hopefully I use the regular mouse button here. So I've downloaded this thing. So if um, I've got two files in here. I've got this disk image, which was from unzipping that big zip file that I downloaded, and I've got this little thing called which is a Linux kernel, but it's specially compiled for running on in this emulator. I'm going to run this command because it's possible that now my mouse is acting even worse. Maybe I need to restart the computer or something.
Oh no. Pardon me. I'm not very.
I'm going to carry on. This is giving me a list of all the different processes that I can emulate, and these are the ARM ones that we're going for, and I think it's the 1176 that we're going for. Let me just check. The output should contain 1176. Yes, that's good. And this is then the command which I'm just going to copy and paste and hope for the best.
Now, this is probably a silly question, but are you familiar with Arduino units?
I've read a little about them, but no, I've never used them.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've got a project that I want to start that's going to make use of an Arduino unit oh boy, my brain is just I should probably go to bed. My brain just shut down.
I was at the newsstand in the supermarket a couple of months ago and picked up a magazine that had an Arduino project, which was recommending a little kit which came with jumpers and a little breadboard and a tiny Arduino-like processor that would run most Arduino software, and the whole thing was apparently less than $10.
Really?
So I was very tempted to order it, but I said I'm sure I'll remember the name of the thing when I get home, and I didn't. I can't find the thing again. I mean, I know there's a lot of bare processors that you can get for about $5, but to make them into a kit that you know that you can just plug into your laptop and use is a different matter.
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise, I'd end up just wasting $5 on a thing without really being quite clear what things to, what other things to buy with it to make it to work.
Yeah,
but
maybe it'll end up being a cool paperweight.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some good companies about. Adafruit in the United States sells lots of kits to go with Arduino, and there's various others. So yeah, it sounds really fun. So have you started sketching out your project, or is it at the idea stage right now?
It's just at the idea stage right now, and oh shoot, I can't for the life of me remember what it was that I was going to be doing with it, and it's horrible. I was just at
it's 2 in the morning. Don't worry about it.
Well, 1:30, but I was at a star party this last week up in Northern California, and the idea popped into my head then, so I'm really certain that it's astronomy related, but for the life of me I cannot remember what it was.
Oh yeah. So were you at the star party out of curiosity, or are you a bit of an amateur astronomer?
Oh, I'm a bit of an amateur astronomer. I've been so since I was a small kid.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, the star party itself, unfortunately, was a bit of a bust because while the moon cooperated, the weather did not, and we got rained out the first night. Complete cloud cover the second night. Third night, we got like an hour's worth of viewing, and by that time I said, you know what, I'm done with this for now. I'm going to go fishing. And so I spent the last night with an old high school buddy of mine, just out in the middle of our old stomping grounds, just doing some fishing. I had a wonderful time fishing.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, going back to because I was going to say, I have like my son and I have like 2-inch telescopes each, which we can just about see some interesting things with. Although the binoculars are a lot more fun actually. than the little 2-inch telescope.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw that, but I've now got a Linux prompt which I assume has come from a simulated Raspberry Pi. So I just ran that command, and the only thing I changed in that command, got this message, could not open, oh, no such file, which was kind of obvious because each time you download the latest Raspberry and they put a new date stamp on the beginning of the file name. So I just changed that to the actual file I downloaded. And here we get a few messages, which I assume is QEMU starting up. And then here I get this extra window appearing, which has... now I can't scroll back to see what... Oh, I can scroll back if I'm holding down Shift and page up, just like a regular Linux terminal. And you'll see all of the messages from the kernel, so it just looks a little bit different from a regular Linux boot up. But yeah, and I've got some kind of a root prompt here. Now, I'm not sure what a Raspberry Pi user would do next from here.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't, but considering the similarities to Linux, you might want to try a Linux command.
Yeah, I'm going to try that, see what happens, see if there's any graphics in this simulation. I suspect there's no.
Yeah, probably not, considering the fact that it says, it doesn't look like it's got a whole lot in the way of memory, although it does say that it found a PS2 mouse.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. And a PS2 mouse. It's got this keyboard, which is US layout keyboard, which I assume I can switch at some point because I've got a British keyboard here, but that just affects some of the punctuation. So yeah, it's definitely there's so you can't find out how much free memory it's got without doing some tweaking. Yeah,
I noticed that it's looking for a drive that's not mounted.
Mm-hmm.
And the command that it's saying to use is definitely Linux.
Yes.
/etc/ /fs tab.
Yeah. Stream operating systems for the Raspberry Pi that I have read about. They're on this web page here, and this is the first one I read. This is Debian, which is
I'm quite accustomed to Debian.
Yeah, and these ones down here, these are also Linux. These are special. This is Fedora.
Right.
These are specialty ones. These are Xbox Media Center programs. It was named after the Xbox because that was where it was first developed for, but now it's really popular on the Raspberry Pi for people that are doing kind of a personal video recorder thing on the Raspberry Pi, if you kind of hook it up to a big hard drive. And this is the only one that doesn't have Linux, and it's advertised as a non-Linux distribution, and this is the operating system that Acorn Computers, or the company that formed ARM, and is behind these chips in the phones. This is an desktop operating system they made in the 1980s that this organization has updated for to run on their desktops and to run on the Raspberry Pi.
Wow.
It's nice.
That was 10 years ago.
Pardon?
I said that was about 10 years ago. Oh, wait a minute. No, released
it feels like it. Yes, yeah.
I was looking at it backwards. 2014, June 4th. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but no, RISC OS was made in 1987, and kind of it didn't get market traction, but according to its fans, it's a lot faster and more direct than a lot of the desktop operating systems that we have nowadays. Yeah,
well, a lot of that's due to the architecture of the processors themselves. A RISC processor accesses memory in a very, very different way than the ones that we have in our desktop computers now.
I've not looked into. I'll be interested to find out more about that. going to stop the recording there. I think we've made some progress, but we'll do some research into how